Hey guys, it's M4J here, and welcome back to the M4J Network here on OpenTTD. Now, before we get started, I do just want to quickly tell you that I am using a brand new microphone for today's episode, so hopefully the audio quality is good. If it isn't, for whatever reason, if it's too loud, too quiet, too muffled, whatever, please do let me know down in the comments, because I'm trying to get feedback so that I can make sure it is as good as can be. But this is probably the most heavily requested thing in the viewer survey over the last 12 months. So I thought, why not actually do something about it? So my very, very, very kind family got me a brand new microphone for Christmas. And here I am using it. And it seems to work quite well. It is a bit in the way still. I need to configure it so that it doesn't block my line of sight to all my monitors. But for a test, I've so far recorded 3 F1 videos, a Rainbow Six Siege video, and now this. And so far it seems to be good. So very happy about that. Speaking of the viewer survey, I have mentioned this in a Siege video that I just recorded, but I don't know if that's going to go up before or after this episode here. But I want to talk to you a little bit about the viewer survey, because unfortunately, I've got to be careful with my words here, because I asked you guys for feedback and I asked you guys to be as honest as possible. However, I'm just going to get it up on my other screen so I can read it verbatim. Some of the responses to particular questions irk me slightly. Yeah. So some people, like the additional feedback bit at the bottom, some people have been very, very encouraging there, and I'm very, very appreciative and grateful for that. Some people have just left it blank, which is also totally fine. Some people have also offered some really good ideas about, how to schedule streams, how to schedule premieres, things like that. And yeah, like some ideas, like Patreon ideas as well, which I will come to Patreon in a second, because there's something there that I would like to address. Ideas for new series, some of which have actually been taken on. Where is it? I'm just trying to... so yeah, people talking about wanting me to do more train-based stuff with OpenTTD, which I have been doing for the last few months. Little things here, little things there. It's all very nice and very good. However, I don't like it when people sometimes say things like, keep making OpenTTD and perhaps, like I said, Transport Fever. That part's fine. Don't mind that at all. The rest doesn't interest me. We've got enough YouTubers doing Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I wasn't aware of the fact that the YouTube police were watching my videos and telling me, the quotas, how many people have we got playing Siege? Is there enough? Is there too many? Who are we going to tell to stop playing Siege so that we balance out the numbers, Sarge? Oh, I don't know. Things like that. That annoys me slightly. But the thing that annoyed me the most was one particular person. Two particular people. Sorry, I got my numbers wrong again. So I asked about my Patreon on the survey, and the reason I ask about Patreon is basically this job is not cheap, and I say the word job. This is a job, and you'll see why in a second. It's not cheap. There's equipment, there's expenses, there's maintenance, there's things like that. Patreon is a very, very small way of getting some money back from that. Right now, I earn just enough money every year to pay for my website hosting, and I'm going to be very transparent and honest with you guys here, because I think you guys deserve to know the ins and outs of it all. So my website hosting costs me about £200 a year, and that includes the domain names and the actual hosting itself. And Patreon just about covers that. Just about. I think I have to dip into my pocket for a couple of quid at the end, but Patreon just about covers that. And that's what Patreon really was for. It was just to cover the major expenses, so that everything else, I can do a little bit here and a little bit there. If I need to upgrade something like a hard drive, then I can do that out of my own money. That's fine. Patreon was just there to cover the website, which I know a lot of you use, because I've checked my analytics recently, and the day that the map became available for download, I hit a new record for traffic. So I know you guys are using that. Plus, I make these videos for you guys for free, basically. You watch them on YouTube for free. So I don't mind asking for a little bit back these days. I used to feel bad about asking for people to support me on Patreon, but actually I don't care anymore, because if you're watching something for free, I think you are in a position to give something back if you so choose. You don't have to. It's not forced on you. It's not compulsory. I have tier rewards based on Patreon, and people have now bought franchises basically in the game using it, or they've paid for other things here and there through Patreon, which I think is a really nice way to give you guys something back for your monetary donation, essentially. It's like a give and take kind of mentality. So when I see comments like, I don't see the reason to support you on Patreon, YouTubers should be less aggressive on their Patreon pushing, ways of monetization for perhaps one interesting video per week at most. Now, first of all, that sentence didn't really make much sense. I've pretty much read that word for word. Second of all, do you really think YouTubers are being too aggressive when they ask once per week for people to support you on Patreon? I don't think so. I think that's perfectly acceptable to me. And again, don't forget, you're watching these videos for free. You know, these videos that I make, I spend 12 hours on average for an OpenTTD video. I upload it onto a platform that you can access for free, watch for free. I don't think it's a crime for me to say, hey, if you've got the ability to, would you mind helping me out a little bit, pay to create these videos? I actually have considered supporting many content creators in the past purely on the fact that I can see how much hard work they put into their content, and I'd like to help them out with that if possible. And I do support some creators for that exact reason as well. And that's my own personal choice. Again, it's not forced upon me. They mention it in every video, and I think that's fine. If you mention it once at the beginning, middle, end, wherever it might be, and then at the end, even if you say big thanks to my Patreon supporters for helping make this video possible, I think that's a very, very good, sensible way of doing it. Some people seem to disagree. I don't know why. So that kind of irked me, but again, that's an opinion. The guy's entitled to the opinion. That's absolutely fine. But the one that really annoyed me is not paying kids, in inverted commas, without jobs. Now, I know how old this person is. I know which age bracket they fall into because they told me. So unless they can't count or they're lying to me, this person is at least 3 years younger than me. I'm 27 years old. I'm actually 28 in just over 3 weeks' time. So I'm not a kid. Second of all, I do have a job. I have 3 jobs right now. I have 3 jobs, 3 individual jobs. I'm a content creator on here, which I currently do for free, bar the X amount of money I get on Patreon each month. That is my wage. I'm also a web developer and webmaster, which I know sounds like Dungeon Master from Dungeons & Dragons, but trust me, it's a real thing. Look it up. I'm also a consultant. I consult with startup businesses on how to create social media and online presences, and how to get their name out there when they're first starting up. If anyone has a small business and they'd like to get in touch, feel free. And that's just my main jobs. I also do other things. You know, I work for #United on a volunteer basis. You know, I do coding, not just for OpenTTD, but I do coding for other software applications as well. I'm also a graphic designer. I'm a pixel artist. What else do? I do editing photography as well. So I'm not just some 14-year-old kid sat behind a laptop webcam going, please give me money. You know, I am actually trying to find my way in life and pay my way in life. But again, when I'm providing free content to you guys, I think it's very entitled of someone to say that they're not going to pay me because they think I'm a kid without a job. If you'd have just said Patreon doesn't interest me, that's fine. But don't insult me. And don't insult my viewers either, because this same person said they didn't want to join Discord because there's too many kids. And I would like to stress again, this person, this individual, is in the age bracket 15 to 24. Does that not make you a kid? You're also not a subscriber. Not that that makes much of a difference, but again, if it came from a subscriber, perhaps I'd feel a little bit more conflicted on it. But a non-subscriber insulting my actual subscribers and fan base, I don't think that's particularly fair. So I just wanted to mention that. I'm just going to walk over and turn my light on so my voice might fade down a little bit. That's the cool thing now. I can walk around my room because I'm not wearing a headset. It's going to yank me back. But at the same time, as I turn my head here, at the same time, I can't get too far away from the microphone. Have I just broken my keyboard? Huh. I just broke my keyboard. Okay, I'll have to try and find where that went. Just broke the leg off the bottom of my keyboard. Yeah, my voice might tail off every now and then as I'm walking around the room. But yeah, I'm not gonna I mean, I can't name these people anyway because these surveys are done anonymously, and I don't want to put people off leaving their opinion because I think it is a valuable bit of feedback still. Don't get me wrong, the wording is terrible, and I've taken a little bit of offence from it, but I actually feel like it's really unfair to criticise my viewership because I don't decide how old my audience is, and I'm not going to discriminate against someone based on their age. Everyone is a part of the M4J community. If you join the Discord, if you join the Reddit, if you're part of a stream, if you're in the chat, or even if you're a patron and you're in the game, you're all equal in terms of opportunity. You're all equal in terms of appreciation. There's no hierarchy here at all. Everyone is the same as far as I'm concerned. So don't call people kids. Whether they are or not is irrelevant. Don't call them kids, especially when you are one yourself, because you're just a hypocrite then. And also don't say I don't have a job, because I have so many jobs right now. I literally have no free time. Apart from, I force myself to have free time for things like watching football, and so my head doesn't explode. And that normally means you don't get a video 1 week because I just need the time off because of stress levels and whatnot. And that's, in the new year, I'm going to be interviewing for even more jobs because I like being busy and I like earning money. And again, this is partially my choice. No one's forcing me to have this many jobs, but I like to be successful in life, and this is what I'm doing in order to make it happen. So you guys don't know me. I don't talk about my personal life that often in my videos, so maybe don't pass judgment. Just a thought. And if you are that individual and you're feeling a little bit bad now, then that's fine. Maybe we can chat about it. Maybe we can let bygones be bygones. If you want to double down on it, though, don't be surprised if I come back firing with both barrels again, because I think that's really unfair. And again, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm entitled to mine. And my opinion right now is you're a bit of an arse, to be honest. But hey ho. Anyway, what is this episode going to be about? Let's talk positive, shall we? So this episode is about aircraft, basically planes. We've done trains, we've done automobiles here and there. Now we're going to go back to planes for a bit. So we're here at Warnbridge Airport, which currently is the departure point, the arrival point for one flight from Great Winfield Airport. And as I'm saying that, I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to tweak this. So instead of every 60 minutes, you're going to be every 30 minutes. Now this was based on real aircraft data. Most sort of international or long haul flights tend to have like a 60 to 90 minute turnaround at airports, which is what I was trying to do here. But clearly that wasn't really working. So we're going to go with 30 minutes instead. The travel time seems to be about the same. Yeah, it's not really affecting anything here. I could double this up, I suppose, but I don't see the point. So I'm going to keep this as what it is right now and hope that, that does work. And speaking of, I'm actually going to overhaul most of the flights that we have here right now. So I'm going to make a group for GWA, which is Guard City Great Winfield Airport, and all flights okay, apparently I don't have I don't have any flights. Did I not group these? That was really dumb of me if I didn't group these. Okay. I might need to come up with airport codes as well. Some of them are attached to stations, so I'm going to use their station codes for that. So if I get that list up as well. Some people might think I'm really moody as well when it comes to like viewer feedback and stuff. And I try not to be, but maybe I'll let these things affect me more than they should. Maybe some people are just saying, shake it off. Does it really matter? And to me, yes, it does. Because I don't like people having negative opinions of me. And I certainly don't like people having negative opinions of friends and family and things like that. And I feel like I don't want to be that guy that says, my viewers are my family or anything like that. Because I don't really believe in that mumbo jumbo. But I do find it incredibly harsh when someone who doesn't really understand the community that we've got here, doesn't really understand what this is all about, and just comes in and steamrollers it with negativity. I just find that to be a real dickish thing to do. And I'm not a huge fan of that. So I tried to sort of stamp that out as early as I can. Purely for the reason that I just don't think it's very fair. You go to Kenville, don't you? Yeah. So Kenville. Let's get Kenville. And again, the person. Oh, did I spell Kenville wrong? The person who left that feedback is probably sitting there right now thinking, "Oh, what a dick." And yeah, maybe you're right, maybe you're not. But oh, wrong thing. I just don't think it's very nice. I don't think it's very nice to say things like that. And I gave this advice to someone on Reddit the other day because they were getting negative comments on their videos. And I said, my tactic is to just call them out on it. Like, don't name them or anything like that. If it's a comment on YouTube, don't name them because I don't think that's fair either. But read out their comment. Let them realise how dumb it sounds themselves. And maybe they won't do it again. Maybe. It's a big maybe. And the reason I'm so like doubling down on this one is because I'm not exactly risking losing a subscriber because they weren't subscribed to begin with. Right, so you're going to fly. Yeah, you're still every hour. Oh, you're every 2 hours. I'm going to change that. 747. 947. 1147. See, I'm going to go around the map today to lots of different airports and set up lots of different flights. Now, one of the problems with this is I can't now do a Warnbridge to Great Winfield, for example, because we already have a Great Winfield to Warnbridge. But I can do a Warnbridge to Tanningville. Was it Tanningville? Tanningbury? And I can also do Warnbridge to... Is it Acidalia? Wenningpool Acidalia, I think, has a airport. If we can reach that far, which we may or may not be able to do. And I'm going to do 1947 as well. There we go. So you now need 3 vehicles, not 2. But that's fine. That's no problem at all. There we go. And I'm going to do it here, actually. Off you go. So that's that one done. Now we're going to grab you. And you are the Warnbridge one, aren't you? Yes. So you are going to go GWA to I don't have a job. That's funny. That bit made me laugh, actually. I don't pay kids without jobs. That made me laugh. Just the sheer irony, hypocrisy, downright comedic timing of it all. That was quite funny. Maybe I wasn't supposed to laugh at it, but I just couldn't help it. Right, this one I can scrap because we only need 3, and that's going to save a ton of money. If I show you the finances right now, and again, you might not be able to see this very well because of the scaling. I also hope you can hear my voice because I don't know if I'm actually talking into the microphone or not. We're losing an absolute butt ton of money, but if you see here, if you take this amount here of new vehicles and you subtract it from this number here, or you add it to this number here, what do you actually do to get it to as positive as possible? You'll notice that they're actually very, very close together. It is just new vehicles right now that's causing me to lose loads of money. So I think what I might do is take off auto renew, like just switch it off, because that seems to be costing me more money than it's saving right now. Because train income is actually very high, 186 million a year. Train running costs is only 114 million a year. So we're making a profit. Technically, it's just new vehicles that is costing us so much money right now. And I can't, like, if I go into the settings and do auto renew, there, I've actually set this as high as possible, £2 million, and 12 months after maximum age. But I have got it switched on right now. So I could just switch it off. But let me know in the comments what you think I should do about that. Whether you think I should leave it on or whether you think I should switch it off. I'm very much open to suggestions. Why have you not got... Interesting. So you are going to be GWA to... I think it's just tan. But I will check that. What is it? It's Tanningbury. Oh, it's TAA. Thank you, George, for doing this list. I know I don't mention that enough, but yes, thank you. Big thank you for doing that list, because you have literally saved my life every single time. Like when I do my time lapses of putting trains on the network and I forget what a station's called, just being able to go and check this list, it's an absolute lifesaver. So you need 3 vehicles. So let's get you... First of all, let's drag you into your group. And then 2, 3. And go. Cool. So that's now up and running. So the next thing I'm going to do is head over to Warnbridge again, which is up here. And I am going to start looking at flights. Actually, let's not do that. Let's do this, because it's technically the airport as well. So next up, if I go back here and just do Warnbridge, which is WAR. There we are. Now, along the high-speed route, there is a station. Not that one. That's Winston, isn't it? Winston Kylestra, yeah. So not that one, but the next one along here has an airport. Grundhead Apollonia, that's the one. Now, can I reach? That's the question. Can I reach? Also, I just realised these aren't actually making me much money. Let's choose one that hasn't just been bought, shall we? Yeah. So your running costs 5 million a year. So I need to make like 5 million, at least 5 million a year. And how long is a year in terms of minutes? I actually don't know that one right now. But that would explain why we're losing so much money. Like we're just hemorrhaging it everywhere. If I select you quickly, and I'll pin you as well, I'm going to try and run a service from here. So let's go with passengers, and we'll go with range, and we'll sort this way. So I need something with the longest range. Airbus A340. Does it say the range? Yeah, 1,600 tiles. Now, I'm not convinced that that's actually going to reach. If it doesn't, that's going to be problematic. Does. Yes. That's actually very good. So now this is an extra way to get people across the country, basically, with a hop, skip, and a jump. So this airport I'm actually going to upgrade to... what have we got? Hub. So it's already an international. Can I fit an intercontinental? I can. Just. I'm going to do that. Because again, I think this is actually going to work better for us in the long run. So you can almost imagine that if you're in Great Winfield, you can now get a plane to Warnbridge, and then a plane here to Grundhead, and then a plane from here down to... what's the one on the Transrapid? In fact, we'll find that out in a second. Let's just... oops. Shift F. Oh, no. Just renamed one of my stations by mistake. Grundhead. Oh, it's Is it Grundhead or Grundhead? It's Grundhead, yeah. Where was that? I saw it just then. I mean, don't worry about typos in this list. I make them all the time. GAA. This also ties in with something I was saying last time as well about having high-speed trains that come in and actually terminate at these stations. So I could put an extra like crossover point here so that a train can come across here, along here, and then into one of these platforms and then run back towards Guard City. That's part of it as well. It's about getting people from one side of the map to the other now as fast as possible. So you are going to move into here. In terms of this, you're going to be service, obviously. Your unload leave empty. And then for timetabling, I'm going to do this. Let's go 30 for this, because you're quite long haul, aren't you? 60. And then lock, automate, scheduled dispatch, enable. Start date, we'll make sure that is 0000. Now these are going to run every hour again, so we're going to do 40, like so. And then for departure slots, let's go with 4:14, 5:14, 6:14, 7:14, 8:14, 9:14, 10:14, 11:14, 12:14. How much is this plane running cost? 17 million. Oh wow, right, I might even have to go into the 13, 14, 14, 14. I might go in base costs and change that, because that's ridiculous. 15, 14, 16, 14, 17, 14, 18, 14. Was it a good year? 18, 14? I don't know. 19, 14 certainly was not a good year. And then 20, 14. In fact, we might even be able to do one more. We're going to run off Heathrow rules. No flights leaving between the hours of 11 PM and 6 AM. And yeah, this should now be working. So I don't think I've forgotten to do anything. Right, I'm going to go into base costs. And change. Actually, let's have a look at this first. Longer airships. Hand-drawn Lockheed. Interesting. Airport maintenance. Ha 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 ha. As if I want to spend more money. Okay. So I want a reduction. First of all, locomotive purchase. I'm actually going to reduce this as well. Let's go with half for now. Just to reduce that number. Same with wagon purchase. Plane costs are actually quite cheap. 209 million for an aircraft. That's actually quite realistic. So I'm not going to change that. But yeah, aircraft running costs is currently set to 1/16th. I'm going to change that for now at least to 1/64th. Because that is stupidly expensive. So this should now reduce by... yeah, it should reduce by 3/4. So that should go down to about 4 million a year. Maybe 5. No, 4. It'd be 4. 4.25-ish. Don't crash the game. There you go. 4.3. That's actually so much better. Some people might think that's cheating, but do you want to spend 17 million pounds a year on an aircraft? That's not even realistic. What is the average annual cost of an aircraft? Let's have a look. Let's not just go aircraft. Let's go Airbus. What was it? A320 we've got here. Actually, that's a point. A340. What was the introduction year? 93. Oh, okay. That does work then. A340. There's an average list prices here. Oh, that's a PDF. The A340 is the largest capacity member of the A340 family. So that's the A340-600, sorry, is the largest. We've got just an A340 by the looks of things. I just want to have a look at the running cost. I mean, it's got a range of 14,000 kilometers. That's quite impressive. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the A340 is the sexy Airbus. Okay, let's assume I know the answer to that. If someone wants to tell me down in the comments, you're more than welcome to. It's expensive. I can tell you that much. It is quite expensive. But yeah, I also want to eliminate planes that were introduced after the year 94. because 93, 94 is kind of the era that we're operating in. Maybe 95 at a push, because these Eurostars were introduced in 94. So that's about right, as far as I'm concerned. I'm also going to load up the stations list here, but specifically just airports. There we go. So, there aren't many, believe it or not. There are not many. So there is a an airport somewhere on the... Where is the Transrapid? That's the next big question. So that's Nut Hill City Centre there. That's high speed as well. Although, is there a high speed station down here somewhere that has an airport? Yeah, there is. Lenway Rialta. Can we reach... Mind you, we're at Warnbridge at the moment, so let's not try that right now. What's the capacity? That's too small. What about one of these? Or a Boeing 767? That's probably the right size, actually, for this. Because I'm going to do a WAR to TAA service as well. Let's pin you. We'll have you on top for now. Right. Back over here. So you're going to go that hangar, because we might as well separate them. And then from Warnbridge, you're going to fly up the coast to Taningbury. You're going to be unload, no loading. You're going to be service. Okie dokie. And then take that off. Actually, let me cheat slightly. Let's do this. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, I'm going to have to do the crap way. That really sucks. That's the limiter in all this. I was just going to do that so I didn't have to do the scheduled dispatch stuff again. Right. Unload. No loading. And service. Cool. Pop this over here. Pin. Right. Oh, wrong button, Mark. That's what happens. My microphone's, as I said, still in the way a little bit, so I'll have to have a look at that. Pin all of you. This is pretty much set. Happy with all that. Scheduled dispatch. Enable. Come on. Start date 0000. Now I think this is going to be every 2 hours again. So I think I'm going to do 90 minutes. Because it's 3/4, 2/3 to 3/4, isn't it? That it can be late by. It's never going to be 90 minutes late. Let's put it that way. I'm going to do 5:26, 7:26, 9:26. Actually, is this going to be... No, I think this is going to be hourly. So I'll do 40. So 6:26, 8:26, and then 10:26. 11:26, 12:26, 13:26, 14:26, 15:26, and you get the idea. 16:26, 17:26, 18:26, 19:26, 20:26, and that'll be the last flight of the day. Cool. So that's that one set up. Next, then, we're going to go from Warnbridge. Now, is there another airport along the coast? There is, isn't there? There's one over here at Ponberg, which is going to be a real bitch to get into, to land at. It's going to be like City Airport, where you can't actually... Like, you're so limited with the aircraft that you're using that it's almost not worth it. So you're going to be war to TAA. Got to remember to group these. I think this is what happened last time, is I just forgot to group them. So Ponberg Airport is POA. First of all, let's actually see if I can fly an aircraft into here. So your range is 700 tiles, which I think is about right. If not, then obviously we'll have to change. I mean, they do look pretty close to each other. Yeah, no problem at all. Unload. No loading. This should mean that the trains are less crowded as well, although obviously these aren't the biggest planes in the world, so we are still going to have that issue. But the way that the saturation is done in the game, I saw a conversation about this on Discord recently as well, where not Discord, sorry, on Reddit, where people were debating how exactly does it work. And it is, you choose the parameter. I can show you it in settings. Saturation of short paths before using high capacity paths. So I've got it set to 50% at the moment. It basically means how full do the short path have to be. So in other words, the planes, before they start using it before they start using the higher capacity, which in this case would be the trains. So the capacity of this aircraft is only 50 passengers and 20 bags of mail, whereas the train is like 200 passengers. So it's definitely the higher capacity of the two. But yeah, it doesn't always work that way. Right, so this is going to be a 0000. This is going to be not twice hourly, every 2 hours. Bi-hourly? What's the word? I don't know. And we're also going to run it like 732, 632, 832, 1032, 1232, 1432, 1632, 1832, and I think that's going to be it for that. That's a pretty good spread still. And I try to praise the AI for the saturation, but I know what's going to happen is they're going to fly from Warnbridge to here. They're then going to get the train back one stop to Waldenbridge, and then they're going to head east to Beffingway. So, again, you kind of want to stop that from happening if you can, because it's going to stop people who actually want to travel up to these two branches from using the aircraft instead. They're going to end up stuck on the train. There is no such thing as passenger satisfaction in this game, but I think it does affect your ratings, the way that you transport cargo. And in this game, passengers are cargo. No offense, everyone, you're just a commodity here to make money. So what other flights can we offer then? Well, one that I used to have was Punfingford, which is here, up to Warnbridge, which is here. Now you can see why that's a stupid flight system, so we're not going to do that this time. But what we could do, we don't actually have any airports out to the east here, but I might be able to stretch down to Rinston, which is all the way up here. Guard City, Rinston. So Grundhead I am actually going to leave open for the time being, so that's the next one we're going to do. I'm going to put you here as well. So in terms of the range, again, I think it's going to be another... It could be a 747, thinking about it. Built in 1970s. That fits in nicely. The 777 was 96, which is just outside of our range. We have Concorde here as well, which doesn't actually have that higher range. Oh, my knuckles just cracked there. Considering it used to fly across the Atlantic, you'd think it would have a higher range than this. We might just stick with an A340 though. It's got really good capacity. That is basically the capacity of a train, a 4-car unit. And it flies so much faster, and it can travel long distances. So I think this is going to be what we do. And you're going to go bang, bang, bang. And then hopefully it will let me do this. So we're going to have lots of flights that kind of crisscross over each other. But imagine that each of these airports is owned by a different franchise holder. If you own Rinston Airport and you want to fly up to Warnbridge, as long as it's within your range and you have permission of whoever owns Warnbridge to land your flights there, go for it. I see no problem with that. I think that's cool. The idea is to be able to sit back one day and just watch all these vehicles of different types crossing over each other. That is the plan. And the day that we achieve that will be a very, very good day indeed. So you're going to be 30, and then we're going to swap you to 60. We're going to lock you in place. We're then going to automate. Before we go any further, I'm also going to set you up. So you are, first of all, war to power. And that's going to be for the little tiddler here. And then we're going to do war to Rinston. WRA. Ah. It's an anagram. That's not going to be confusing at all. And then, yeah, that's going to go there, like so. And then for scheduled dispatch, enable. Like so. A delay of 40. And then departure slots. Let's say 4:22, 5:22, 6:22, 7:22, 8:22. 9:22, 10:22, and so on and so on. Since I'm talking about like wait times and things like that, I'm kind of going for a combination now. So George very kindly did some research for me of average turnaround times at different stations for different types of train, and that was the data that I was using a lot for wait times. But for the high speed especially, it's not that it's not that it's unrealistic, because it's not. It's hyper realistic. It's more the fact that it's not very practical in the game right now, because especially at Guard City St. George, might even have it here. Oh no, I don't at the moment. But you have trains that end up waiting in the tunnels for platforms, which does again happen in the real world sometimes. Especially places like London Bridge and Waterloo, you might have to wait for your platform to become free. But some of these trains were waiting for like 15-20 minutes, which is not very realistic. And it was mainly because a train was coming in here, emptying, and then sitting here still. So I reduced some of the wait times for unloading trains. And then they pull out early, and then new trains come in and fill up or empty, wherever it might be. And that kind of fixed the problem. But we only have 4 platforms here for high-speed trains. This 5th one here is actually for cargo. And these 2 here are for the railjet when they come in. So one thing I was considering doing was adding an extra parameter in these 2 signals, that if these platforms are full, basically, then add a small pathfinding penalty and the train can use these platforms instead. That's a possibility, but then imagine there's like departures, like passport checks and things. Imagine it's international rail rather than just rail. That would become an issue. It wouldn't be very practical. So wait times is the only way to fix that. So right now, this train here is unloading, but it still waits here for... Actually, no, you are loading. 45 minutes it waits for. Now, that could easily be reduced to 30, but up here, when it unloads, you see it's only 20 minutes. I could take that down to 15, and that reduces a 5-minute wait time in the tunnels here. So that's something that I might end up doing. We'll see about that. Right, let's head over to Grundhead, and we're going to do some stuff here as well now. So let's grab this hangar, and we'll move you over here, and we'll go new aircraft. You should be range, passengers, yeah, all that good stuff. So from here, I can close this window now, which means you can move over to there. What areas have we got? So Lenway Rialta is one, and we'll follow the high speed. We'll be going twice the speed of the high speed as well, which is awesome. So it's this branch here, I believe. Actually, no. This goes... Yeah, okay. So we could fly down to Fort Bredborough. Is there an airport down at... No. Wonnington. There isn't one here. But there is one here. But that's a small... Bar City Bruntberg is a small airport. The big ones are actually to the south. We've got one here. And there's also one... Or was it just those two? Might have just been those two. Huh. Okay. Anyway, let's not get distracted, which I know I'm already doing. So I think Fort Bredborough is not miles and miles and miles outside the range that we've got right now. So we could go for something a little smaller, like an A320. What was this? That's an A330. Sorry, not an A320. Which, I mean, the capacity isn't that much lower. Same design year. Airbus were just churning out aircraft in the 90s, weren't they? We could even go with a McDonnell Douglas. 1972. Let's try this. See how well this works. If this doesn't work, I'll be very annoyed. So you're going to go there, and... yeah, easy. Unload, no loading, and service. Now you might notice that I haven't reduced the waiting time for unloading aircraft here. That is something I can come back and do in the future. The reason I haven't done it right now is because there's actually quite a lot. Like with a station, one tile is one platform, so only one train can be in this platform at any one time. Whereas over here, you've got 1, 2, 3. Literally one tile is a stopping point for an aircraft. Plus, you've got the 2 helipads here, which I think they just land on and then they move over to the dock. Not dock, the berth, sorry. And there's 6 berths within a 9 tile square here. And then the center 3 here are the terminal buildings, so they don't really count. Plus, aircraft can wait, like on the apron, or they can wait in the hangar if they absolutely have to. So there is like more flexibility than there is with a railway station. It's kind of the same with road as well. There's a lot more flexibility as to what you can and can't do, which just makes life a little bit easier. Rail is the hardest for if you have trains like bunched up against each other, then you're in trouble. You have to change something, which you don't always have to do that with the other vehicles. Boats are the easiest because you can have 6 boats all connected to the same dock at the same time. And that is a lot easier. Right, let's go with 511, 611, 711, which is a convenience store, I believe, 811, and so on. 1111, 1211, 1311. This is where you need to have your wits about you. Did that not work? Oh, did I do 1211 again? I love scheduled dispatch. I really love it. It's absolutely changed the way I play this game in all good ways. The only thing I don't like is I wish you could copy and paste schedules, and I wish you could import them as well. So if I had like a spreadsheet, I could just copy, paste, and it would do it that way. Oh, hello. Is that what button I pressed by mistake? There we go. So this is all set up now and working, and we can go for a new group. So this is what? Fort Bredborough? No, we're at Grundhead, Apollonia, which was GAA. So we'll do GAA, and then we'll do this, and we'll do GAA to Fort Bredborough, FBC. Cool. And then we'll go ungrouped aircraft and we'll drag you in like so. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit left field and go GAA, and I hope I have the range for this. Because I want to go to Punfingford. I believe the A340 can do this. So I'm going to buy you, pin you, move you up here. And then I'm going to copy this, but instead of going to Fort Bredborough, we're going to go to Punfingford, which we should be able to do no problem. Yeah, easy peasy. And this is where you start to see the web and the network all coming together. And it will work really, really well, I hope. So you're going to be pinned there. Scheduled dispatch. We're going to offset you by... Let's go 34 minutes. Actually, that's a bit too round for my liking. Let's go 31 minutes. That's better. So you're now set up as well. And then we can copy, or not even copy, we can just drag you into your thing. And so on and so forth. You can see now we're starting to set up these airports. We got 4 from GWA, we got 4 from WAR. We currently have 2 from GAA, but there is wow, my words. There is plenty of potential for more, is what I was trying to say. I would like some more airports along the north coast, and I don't think there are any more airports. No, there aren't any more airports on the high-speed line here. Fort Bredborough is the next one down in that regard. But as you can see, the network is starting to form in the sky as well. And imagine, as I said earlier, each one of these airports is owned by a separate franchise holder. And again, to become a franchise holder, if you head over to m4jmedia.com / I can't remember my own URLs. 1 second. I set these up as well. I actually chose like custom URLs. m4jmedia.co.uk or .com / current-series / M4J Network. Or you can just head to the homepage, go Notable Series M4J Network. You can scroll down and you can view all of the franchise information for road, rail, air, and sea. And whichever one takes your fancy, click the button. That will take you over to my Patreon page. You can read what all of the tier rewards are there as well, because there are things for other series too, although that might have to be reviewed slightly because of the way things have changed. But yeah, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you're enjoying the series, drop some comments down below with ideas for future episodes. Please do go check out the viewer survey as well. I know I sound a little bit negative about it, but hopefully you guys understand why those kind of words do affect me slightly, because I think it is very judgmental and a bit naive. I think naive is a good way of saying it, like not really understanding fully what's going on. Besides all that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to the channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Also, as I said at the very, very start of the video, leave some feedback as well regarding the quality of the microphone, whether you think it's good or not. And until next time, I will see you soon.